unexpected events and incidents happen every day. Are these influenced by any human or spiritual force, or are they merely coincidences? What role do angels and demons play in human life? Let's start the video now. Accidental incidents. Everywhere in the universe, countless hidden hands are constantly at work, and the system is guiding the universe in the best way. There is order and sequence in everything: air, food, light, water, and energy systems. Despite the journey of thousands of years of progress, man, with all his advancements, cannot create honey like a lifeless bee, not knowing how it is made. This concept is found in Surah Al-Mulk of the Qur'an. No defects can you see in the creation of the Most Gracious. Qur'an, Surah Al-Mulk, 67:3. Everywhere spiritual forces provides a chain of causes and effects, supplying different links for every event in this world. Each event, where no one's role is apparent, is called an accidental incident. However, behind all these events, a hidden mind is at work, providing various links of causes which are not visible to us. When the results come out, we attribute them to accidents, being convinced after the fact. According to our perspective, daily events such as car accidents, loss of life, arson, etc., are not accidental incidents, but part of a hidden plan. This plan provides a chain of causes to punish someone evil and unjust, reaching the stage of consequences, or brought positive change to someone's life. Many frightening incidents often occur, and in these incidents, some people are miraculously saved with unseen divine assistance. There are numerous such events, which we will explain in a separate video. Let's explore the story of Moses. You may know the historical event that Pharaoh used to kill the newborn boys of Bani Israel. When Moses was born, his mother was worried about his life. Thus, to save the child, she placed him in a box and set it adrift in the river. The waves carried the box towards the shore. By coincidence, Pharaoh's wife was taking a stroll there. She stopped the box, opened it, and was delighted to see a lovely child. She showed Pharaoh and suggested making the child their own. Pharaoh agreed to raise the child, and when it became necessary to nurse the child, Musa's sister, who had reached Pharaoh's house, was asked if the baby wasn't drinking milk. Musa's sister replied that she knew of a woman who might keep the baby happy and allow him to drink milk. So, by coincidence, Musa reached up with his mother, and he was safely raised in the enemy's house. Musa grew up, and one day, while on a journey, he witnessed two men fighting, one from Pharaoh's tribe and the other from Bani Israel. The oppressed Israelite sought Moses' help, and Moses intervened. He accidentally struck a blow that proved lethal, and Moses left in fear for his life. Eventually, Moses reached a distant mountain spring. This way, Musa's journey continued until he reached the place where he was supposed to be. On the surface, all these events seem accidental, but they were all part of a divine plan by the Lord of the universe. Now, let's hear it in the language of the Qur'an. And when we inspired to your mother, put him into the ark and cast it into the river, and the river will throw it onto the bank. There will take him an enemy to me and an enemy to him. And I bestowed upon you love from me, that you would be brought up under my eye. Remember the time when your sister reached Pharaoh's house and said, "Shall I direct you to a household that will take care of him for you and look after him in a good manner?" In this way, we returned you to your mother, so that her eyes might be cooled, and she should not grieve. Then you killed a person, but we saved you from great distress, and we tried you with various trials. You stayed for years among the people of Midian. Now you have come to the decree of destiny, O Moses. Quran, Surah Taha 20:38-39. What was the purpose of this divine plan? Let's hear it from them. Our plan was that we show favor to Bani Israel, who were extremely weak and oppressed. We wanted to make them leaders in the universe, heirs to the earth, give them strength and dominance, and show Pharaoh, Haman, and their armies the dreadful consequences they feared. Quran, Surah Al-Qasas 28:5. After this, the lineage of prophets began in Bani Israel, and after Moses, the succession of the book-bearing prophets began. Before this, no prophet had received a book. For the attainment of this sublime goal, what did the divine forces have to do secretly, and how was the objective achieved? I am confident that there is no concept of good or evil coincidences in the world. Every event occurs according to a plan. It is either a human plan, or behind it are spiritual forces. Spiritual forces include the forces of goodness, meaning divine forces, and the forces of evil, meaning satanic forces. Satan assists the evildoers in breaking divine laws. The criterion to become a great sorcerer is to please Satan by committing the worst possible deeds. After God, Satan is a significant spiritual force. He is the open enemy of mankind. On the other hand, divine forces, which include of prophets, righteous individuals, saints, charitable organizations, etc., receive divine assistance in their benevolent endeavors. Remember that both satanic and human plans can fail, but a divine plan can never fail or go wrong. All prophets agree that the clash between satanic and divine forces will continue until the day of judgment. Despite the fact that God will ultimately prevail and Satan will be defeated everywhere, there is no doubt that Satan has been endowed with significant spiritual powers. The impact of our actions on incidents and events. When we cast our gaze upon the universe, the reality becomes apparent that every creation, every action, and every step is for our benefit. The clouds, the trees, the fruits, the flowers, the sunlight, the shade, the air, the water, the fire, the light, the treasures, the seasons, the earth, the sky, the moon, the sun, all are engaged in serving us. They cannot deny their work based on their own will. All this work is for the satisfaction of our physical needs, just as for our spiritual needs. God has sent heavenly books and prophets, and the chain of saints and righteous individuals has continued from the beginning until now. How can one generous, kind, loving, and merciful God love to a tyrant, oppressor, miser, and evildoer? Compassion and true actions of friendship and truth that distance us from Satan and bring us closer to God. After establishing a strong connection with God, all the hidden and good divine powers, angels and spirits, become our helpers. They place Moses' box on the shore and provide Joseph with resources to become a ruler in time. What the hidden hand is doing in the garden of the heart can color your life story. It can bring your stranded ship to the shore. But the condition is that you do not distance these hidden friends by any criminal act. Those righteous individuals who have, for example, prophets and saints, established a connection with this spiritual world have experienced that hidden helper, pleased with goodness and displeased with sins. A Sufi from West, Lead Beater, in his book The Master and the Path, writes, "Some small things, such as inappropriate remarks, also disturb the delicate body and open the door to harmful effects. A person who focuses his attention on God establishes a connection with Him. The seers have seen this connection in the form of a luminous line. God feels this connection and sends magnetic waves to establish a connection. These magnetic waves transform into joy and success." Allah says in Surah Ankabut, verse 29, "Those who strive to reach us, we will surely guide them in our ways." Why do hardships occur? In Surah Ar-Rad, verse 31, Allah says, "Disasters continue to occur due to the actions of disobedient people. The one who is stingy remains indifferent to the troubles of others and distorts good things. We will make him taste pain and difficulty in sustenance." There is a direct relationship between sin and suffering, goodness and ease. Allah says in Surah Fajr, 89, 18, 16, "When Allah puts someone in difficulty by reducing his sustenance, he begins to cry out, 'Allah has humiliated me,' although the reality is that you do not help the orphan and do not encourage the feeding of the poor." How to stay safe from unpleasant incidents? Allah says, "The one who spends in the way of goodness, avoids sin, and understands things well for him, we will make things easy." The second thing is the remembrance, zikr, of God, because the remembrance of God saves a person from incidents, keeps him calm, and keeps him in touch with God. When Prophet Jonah erred on something, Allah punished him. A fish swallowed him, and he became very remorseful. If he were not among those who mention us, he would have remained in the belly of the fish until the day of judgment. Here it is mentioned that the reason for Jonah to come out of the fish's belly was to mention Allah. The heart finds true peace only by remembering Allah, the Qur'an. The hidden worker of God, referred to as angels or celestial beings, delight in the remembrance and piety. Real human beings, hidden within the physical body and commonly known as the soul, become beautiful through virtuous deeds and remembrance of Allah. Just as angels have a subtle body, their connection is with our subtle body. When our subtle body, the soul, becomes virtuous through good deeds and the remembrance of Allah, it attracts positive spiritual forces. These forces guide in achieving success, provide assistance in every difficulty, and offer new ideas for prosperity and joy. The relationship between goodness and success is highlighted. The Quran indicates that when a person turns away from Allah's friendship and associates with the enemy, Satan, by committing wrongful deeds, they become an easy prey for demonic forces. The hidden protectors and helpers, once assigned to such individuals who were previously engaged in their assistance, now leave. Thus, the person is left at the mercy of complete demonic forces. The Quranic verse from Surah Yasin is mentioned, emphasizing that on the day of judgment, Allah will declare the separation of those who turned away from Him and followed Satan. O criminals, separate today so that everyone can be seen. I did not promise you to not follow Satan. He is your open enemy. Lastly, 3 supplications made by Prophet Musa, Moses, in different challenging situations are shared. These prayers include seeking forgiveness when wronged, protection from oppressors, and asking for help in times of extreme need. The narration concludes by suggesting that reciting these supplications with understanding and conviction unleashes powerful divine energies, providing assistance in times of need. The efficacy of these prayers is affirmed based on personal experience.